Hello fellow geeks, I'm Devin and today I'm going to be recommending some underrated books for you guys. I've been thinking recently that I've wanted to do a giveaway for a while. Why not do one? Like, no time like the present, right? So I tried to do one with my August book haul, which I filmed. I just didn't get edited in time because my editor crashed, so I had to get a new one. It was just this big thing. So I decided to do it with this video, and that's kind of what inspired this video. Make sure you stay until the end of this video for the giveaway, and you'll actually want to watch the whole video to understand the giveaway and be able to participate. So let's get started with my recommending underrated books. The first book I'm recommending is Witch and Wizard by James Patterson. This is the first in a 5-book series, and I read this, I think I was still in high school when I read this. I was probably just before my senior year of high school, so a few years ago at this point. I've read the first 4 books, they're all really good. It centers around this brother and sister named Wit and Wisty Allgood, and basically they find out that they are a witch and wizard, and they didn't know this, they had no inkling, but it comes at a perfect time because at the moment that they find out, they are being arrested, like they are in jail. It's this whole new government system where anything creative like books, music, art, TV, movies, anything like that is banned, and the government pretty much wants everyone to be perfect little soldiers, and if they rebel against that, they are thrown into prison. The Wit and Wisty aim to take down the leader of this government, just called the One, and they try to take them down, and they're still learning about their newfound witch and wizard powers. And it's definitely a concept that you've heard before where a government's trying to take over and a lot of things are banned, but I don't think it's been done to this extent. The next book I have for you guys is Evermore by Alison Noel, and I'm pretty sure I read this in like 9th or 10th grade, so it was a long time ago, but it's still one of my absolute favorites. This is the first in a 6-book series, but again, like all the books are pretty short. Like I don't think any of them are really over 350 pages. They're really quick reads. This one is probably my absolute favorite in the series. I've only read the complete series once, but I think I've read this book like 2 or 3 times. This follows a girl named Evermore, and pretty much what happened to her is she got in a car accident with her entire family, but only she survived. She doesn't understand why, but now she has these kind of weird powers. So she can see people's auras, hear their thoughts, and know someone's entire life story by touching them. And she can also speak to her dead ghost sister, so she feels a bit like a freak. And she actually hates it. She hates hearing what everybody thinks about her. Like, it's just tiring. She's labeled as a freak at her school until this boy named Damon Auguste shows up. He kind of silences the noise in her head, and he's a giant mystery to her, which, considering she can know someone's entire life story just by touching them, it's kind of a new concept for her to have someone as a mystery, but he really intrigues her, and it's a love story in the end, but he's also kind of holding a secret, which is really, really interesting. The third book I have to show you guys is Beastly by Alex Flynn. This was the first Alex Flynn book that I read, which preceded to her being one of my auto-buy authors. Like every time I see one of her new books, I will definitely pick it up. This isn't the first in a series, it's more like companions, where you don't have to read all of the books to understand them. They're all just kind of fairy tale retellings, and they aren't any of the same characters, like they're just companion novels. It's a movie with Alex Pettyfer and Vanessa Hudgens now, but it's pretty much a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but in modern day New York City. That's pretty much the best way to describe it, that this guy named Kyle is a complete jerk, and this witch named Kendra turns him into a beast, and really only having someone fall in love with him in a year will break the curse. Next book I have to show you guys is Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. I read this book for the first time this year, and this was probably the best book I read all year. It kept me intrigued, kept me on the edge of my seat. I definitely gave this 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. This is a love story because, you know, it's Nicholas Sparks and he writes love stories, it's kind of obvious. But this particular love story has kind of a thriller twist to it, which is really intriguing, and I really want to see more of the romantic thrillers from Sparks in the future because it was just really intriguing, it was really interesting, it kept me wanting to read more, and it kept this book in my thoughts at all times. Pretty much this is about a girl named Katie as she moves to a new town in North Carolina, and she has a dark and mysterious secret kind of plaguing her and following her. And she really just wants to be left alone. She wants to blend in. She wants to keep a low profile until she meets this guy named Alex. Alex is a widower and he has 2 small children, Kristen and Josh. And he finds Katie very interesting, and it takes a long time, but she eventually warms up to him and finds him really interesting too, but she's still got that dark and mysterious secret plaguing her. The next book I have to show you guys is Still Alice by Lisa Genova. This book I don't hear anything about on BookTube. A lot like all of the other books, I've heard either very little or nothing about this on BookTube. But I read this for my 12th grade English class. This is a heartbreaking story about a girl named Alice. Well, not a girl, a woman named Alice. She's like 50s, I think. Yeah, she's 50 years old, and she's diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. So this book is basically her heartbreaking story of dealing with Alzheimer's and just seeing it from the very early stages, like forgetting words and forgetting appointments, to the end of Alzheimer's, where you are forgetting absolutely everything. You barely know who you are. You don't know who like anybody in your life is anymore, all the people that mattered to you most. This book's super intense, and I would definitely, as with any of the books on this list, I know Safe Haven and another one I'm going to mention were pretty intense, and they might have some trigger warnings, so I definitely check them out before you read them, because this book was actually intense enough for me to have to stop reading in the middle of it and just take a minute, because it's heartbreaking and it's absolutely devastating to read about, but it's also really good to be aware, I think. The next book on this list is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. And if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, I've definitely mentioned this book. I love this book so much. I read it earlier this year. It was so incredible. It changed my life. Like, it was an amazing book. It really makes you think. This book follows a girl named Samantha McAllister just kind of trying to live her life with purely obsessional OCD, which is a form of OCD that doesn't necessarily focus on the compulsive so much as the obsessive. So she obsesses over things like numbers and her thoughts. So the only people who actually know that Sam has this disorder are her family members, her mom, her sister, and her dad. Nobody else knows, because in her school she's part of this friend group that she's had since kindergarten, but they are very unaccepting of people who are even remotely different. She feels like she has to put up a front with her friends so she can't tell them. On the first day of school, she meets this girl named Caroline, and for some reason she feels comfortable with her and tells her about her disorder, and Caroline leads her to this kind of secret society at her school called Poets Corner, which is pretty much a group of misfits who all come together twice a week at lunch in this kind of hidden away room and just share their poetry with each other and their deepest thoughts and desires and fears. This is another book I would research a little bit, just because it does deal with purely obsessional OCD, and that I don't know if certain people have a problem with reading about that kind of stuff, but I would definitely look it up. The next book I have to show you guys is Just Listen by Sarah Dessen, and Sarah Dessen is another auto-buy author for me. I absolutely love her books. She's an incredible author. It's all kind of YA contemporary, but they all have an underlying dark theme to them. So again, definitely look up Sarah Dessen, because it definitely has a trigger warning in here. This book follows a girl named Annabelle Green, and she is a model, so people just assume that she is like perfect and she has this glamorous life, but she really doesn't. You know, she just had her best friend recently stop being friends with her, and her sister has an eating disorder that is very fragile. So she's struggling a lot, and especially the way that her friendship ended with her best friend Sophie, it made her kind of an outcast at school. That is until she meets a boy named Owen, and he kind of just makes her realize, if people don't like me, they don't like me. Like, he makes her stop caring, and it's a really beautiful story. The final book I have to show you guys is Seriously, I'm Kidding by Ellen DeGeneres. This book I read in it was in high school. That's all I can remember. I read it in high school, and it's a short book, and it's not really a novel. It's more of a biography, and just really interesting things about Ellen DeGeneres, and she makes you laugh and she picks you up. Really funny. I know it's Ellen's like third book that she wrote. I can't even really explain what it's about. So those are all the books that I have to recommend to you guys, and now let's get to the giveaway, which I'm sure is why a lot of you are here. So at the beginning of the video, I told you guys to watch the entire video and not just skip until the end so you can participate in this giveaway, and that, I was being totally honest, it was not just a gimmick to get you guys to watch my video, but it was so you guys could get to know the books before you decide which one you would like. So now that you've seen all the books I have to recommend to you guys, I want to give one of you guys any one of those books that I just showed. And they will be a new copy. I'm not going to give you my like old, bent, used copy. I'm going to buy you a new copy, don't worry. But one of those can be yours. So this giveaway kind of comes with a condition, and this giveaway will only happen if I reach 100 subscribers by the end of October. It gives you guys more than a month to make this happen, and if I reach that, then this giveaway will automatically happen. There's really only a few rules to this. 1, you have to be subscribed to my channel, and 2, you have to leave a comment down below. Just anything you want. Just leave me a comment. Say hi. I want to start a conversation. I will ship internationally. It doesn't matter where you live. I will ship one of these books to you. Any book of your choice. I will be in touch. And if this actually happens, I will announce the winner as soon as I choose them. I will film a video announcing the winner. But there's more. If this actually happens, it's not just going to be one of you guys, it's going to be 2 of you guys. There will be 2 of you that can each choose one of the books that I presented to you a few moments earlier. And that's pretty much all I have to say. If you're totally excited for this giveaway, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on all of my social media. And just make sure you're on the lookout for my next video. That's all from me and my shelfie.